weight loss and wellness. I'm your host, Coach Monica. I'm joined today by Coach Darcy, and we are here to guide you through the ins and outs of a lifestyle that's transformed not just our lives, but the lives of countless women navigating the waves of perimenopause and menopause. Whether you're here to shed weight, understand your body better, or simply find a community that gets it, you're in the right place. So sit back and enjoy the next few minutes as we tackle the hot issues of today. Good morning and welcome. It's so good to have you. Good morning, Coach Darcy. How are you doing?
I'm doing fantastic.
I am too. I just got back from the gym and it was arm day today. So I'm getting my groove back. I was a little bit down and out there. We're doing a reconstruction, remodel project here at the house. And it's really stressful. You've done that a couple times, haven't you? You've done some renovations.
Seems like I'm always living in a renovation.
I was going to say, I don't think it's ever stopped for you. We've lived in this house for, our son will be 26, I believe. And we moved in when he was a baby, our second born, paid off the house, and we've just never put any money into it. And it's 120 years old and it's time. So I did send our family tribe an opinion that I needed, though, and it was not answered by my sister.
Well, you did not watch my video.
I did not. No, I haven't done that yet. I haven't done that yet. So
that's why my morning was joyful, and you didn't even watch it.
I didn't watch it yet. The yet is the key right there. Oh, it's been crazy. It's been a crazy morning. So yeah. And I may have a different opinion because I'm more of a rustic kind of girl and you're kind of a modern girl. So, I don't know.
I have fit my world around boys.
Yes.
Because they're at the age of Nerf guns, I can't decorate with anything.
Well, you could.
I could, but then there would be no fun.
There'd be a lot of fun. There would be a lot of fun with those boys.
Yes, right. So we don't decorate.
Yeah, I know the feeling. I do. I do. I have a grandson, and I'm realizing that my knickknacks that I put out, and I don't put a lot out, but I'm realizing, I'm going to pick that up here because it looks really exciting to you, Cass. So, you know what? We're going to talk about something fun today. We've been health coaches for the past 7 years. So today I just thought, let's just cut it loose and let's talk about how to quit a diet.
Oh, fun.
People don't like diets. They don't like our message.
Right.
We have a really annoying message to most people, like get healthy, make America healthy again.
What?
We've got all of these things that people just don't like. So I'm like, hey, coach, let's talk about how to quit a diet. Let's talk about how to go back to the sugar. Let's talk about how to gain weight again, how to get our blood pressure back up. I mean, why would we want to live with spiked, healthy blood pressure? Why would we want to live with legs,
Yeah.
Why not have diabetes take them off? Why not live and eat? What does the Bible say? Eat, drink, and be merry, for tomorrow we die.
Right. And that is people's motto. Like, exactly. Why do we need to change when we're going to die anyway?
It literally is people's motto. I have talked to so many people who are like, you know what? Life is short. It is so sad. It is so sad to hear that come out of people's mouth, and they're dead serious about it. Let's just enjoy sugar. Well, I mean, I hit 49 this year. I have a grandbaby. I am literally living the best life I have ever lived in my life. Like, I am feeling the best. I've got, the physique that I want. I want more muscle. I do want more muscle, but I'm working on it.
We'll get there.
But I fit into the clothes that I want to fit in. I'm feeling the most amazing. Why would you want to be on the other side of that? And I understand it seems impossible, so it's easier to go to the sugar. It's easier to go back that way. But so we're going to talk about it. How do you do it?
Wait, can I just talk about phases that just popped into my head?
Yes, please.
Okay, so bear with me. So we talk about phases that we go through during a lifestyle change, right? We talk about the honeymoon phase. We talk about the scale, the pathway, the fork in the road, all those things. This is kind of another one where it's got stages. Like you have your between your teens and your 20s mindset where you don't really care like
Mm-hmm.
what food you put in your body. Maybe if you do, you might be really into like the hippie, not
Mm-hmm.
hippie. I'm sorry, but that's how I associate myself. So I
I
usually
would
I use
agree.
that.
Mm-hmm.
But the quinoa and eating all of the whole grains and the sourdough and all these things.
Yeah.
Sourdough's not, I guess it's not terrible. I don't know. But anyway, that's a phase that people go through.
Mm-hmm.
So that phase, like they're not focused on, what we are necessarily focused on.
Mm-hmm.
Then you get to the late 20s to the 35s, and you are
Mm-hmm.
in this world of chaos and
Babies.
babies and teenagers and being everywhere at once because we're magical like that. And we have stress. So we just put ourselves like aside from everything else. And we're like, well, we don't have time to think
Mm-hmm.
about ourselves. And then you get
Don't
to this
deserve to. Don't
you
deserve
don't
it.
deserve it because it's selfish. We
Yeah.
want to put other people first. And then you get into this third phase that I'm picking up is rock bottom.
Yes. Yes.
After you've gone through all these other stages, you might
Mm-hmm.
have done a great job at keeping yourself healthy and focused, and you are, just living life to the fullest. And then you've got the naive mindset of I'm not going to get that way. I can eat whatever I want. I said just moderation.
Mm-hmm.
As long as I eat in moderation, then yeah, like I'm going to be fine. I'm not going to be like all these older people that are struggling. But
Mm-hmm.
listen, my dear
Oh,
friends,
listen, Linda, listen.
listen, Linda or Georgia or whatever your name is out there, or Frederick, whomever you are,
Richard.
you hit a certain age where your body does not appreciate what you did to it for
Mm-hmm.
those many years. You could have fed it so much better and you
Mm-hmm.
chose not to. And then you get to that certain point before rock bottom that you're like, well, I'm going to die anyway. So what's
Mm-hmm.
the point? I'm just going to take this medication and let me enjoy the foods that I love so much. And I
Mm-hmm.
want to be like when I was in my 20s, and I'm going to continue to eat that way. And then I'm starting to wonder, well, why is this medication not even working? I'm having to add more medication on. So
Uh-huh.
it's just a complete domino effect of
Yeah.
those three phases. And I want to hear in the comments, what phase are you in?
Mm-hmm.
Are you at rock bottom? Are you in this? Like, I'm fine. You guys are all talking stupid stuff about getting healthy and
Mm-hmm.
eating healthy. And I'm just going to eat what, the doctors tell me to eat,
Yeah.
which is carbs, vegetables, and fruit and exercise. That's what's going to give you a long life, apparently,
Yeah.
to a doctor.
Apparently. Yeah.
So,
Yeah. You
yeah,
speak truth. There's so many different
lots of
phases.
it.
And it's such a I feel like it's a hopeless passionate that you and I have. I mean, I have a little bit more hope with my niche clients than you do. Um, really, I do have a head start on, on the marketing aspect, and we joke about that, but it really is true because
It
you
is.
you have a passion, a fiery passion to help women not go through what you did
Mm-hmm.
and to stop this hopelessness of moms not having an identity and falling into the trap that you specifically talk about here. You have a passion. The
Yeah.
problem is these women don't care.
No.
And they don't care until they get into my phase of life and my niche client of women who have said, why in the world did I just let my body go? I am 49 years old. I am getting ready. I'm perimenopause. I'm menopause. My body is acting like an alien. Coach, you have got to desperately help me. And they come to me like, oh, desperate, right?
Yeah.
It's so frustrating because you don't have to get to the desperate stage. It would be the most beautiful picture in our coaching practice if we could reverse those. If I
Oh,
was
yeah.
struggling to get clients because they've taken care of their bodies and they actually put themselves first when they were mamas.
Yeah.
Moms, you don't
Absolutely.
have to do this. You don't have to get obese. You don't have to get PCOS. You don't have to get type 2 diabetes. You're doing it to yourself. Frankly, there's no
Yeah.
other way to say it. And maybe Coach Darcy, that's why she gets those clients because I tell the truth. You're doing it to yourself.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And
Yeah.
we're going to talk about that today. We're going to talk about why you're doing it to yourself and how to stop the vicious cycle and how to make Monica not have any clients. That would be the ultimate goal.
You know what? That is, if that happened, I would be in a very happy place. I could pick up another hobby somewhere else. I'd be fine.
Yeah.
But being able to spread the word about good health, and that is my, I just want to scream it from the mountaintops. Like, why can't we just open our eyes?
That's why we coach. That is why we coach. Yeah. And, you can go find anything for free on the internet. You're probably on some diet that is probably taking your money right now and not working, right? You're probably trying the whole Google thing for free, but there's a reason why Coach Darcy and I do what we do. And that's because we have literally breathed the air that you're breathing right now. We understand. I remember, and this is going to be kind of maybe too TMI, I don't know. I'm not afraid of it. Not afraid of
when
anything.
Has that ever stopped you?
When has it ever stopped me? It hasn't. I had somebody, I'm not going to mention their names, yesterday on the other side of the political aisle than I am. And they're one of those that love the conversation and it's not the hate. And she was like, you know what? I just love your opinions. I don't ever agree with you, but I love the fact that you're willing to have the courage to say what you believe. And she said, I just so admire that about you. Yeah. I don't agree with you, but I love the fact that I feel like I could come talk to you if I question one of my beliefs. And it was really encouraging to me. But most of the time I don't live on that side. I just say what I feel. But I remember, and I don't know if you had ever gotten to this point, because I had gotten up to 272. And I didn't even realize I had gotten that high. And we have a really tall bed. And I remember having to take about 3 tries to roll over to get over my body fat in my belly. And I remember it took me about 3 rolls to get over that belly. And I tell you that, and it's embarrassing to tell you that, and then I had to sit on the bed for about 5 minutes to get my bearings before I could stand up, because I knew when I stood up, my knees would hurt. I knew that I would start the pain of the day. And then we live in a 3-story house or 2-story house, and I knew that I would have to go down that long flight of steps, and I knew my feet would hurt. And so I sat there on the side of the bed every morning, not wanting to get up, because I would have to go through that process to get out of bed.
Yeah.
So when we say we've walked where you walked, we're not one of those skinny health coaches that says, that has never had a weight problem in their entire life, trying to tell you to eat low calories. We're not there. And exercise. We are coaches who have been 272 pounds, who have had struggles getting out of bed, who went to weddings and went to the Right to Life events. I don't know why Right to Life always picks the white wooden chairs. Why do they do that? Every stinking year, the white little tiny wooden chairs.
I was watching debates. I don't know where it was. I've been watching both parties, so don't. We're not doing that. But I watched on live camera this actual fear of yours happened to somebody on TV, and there was this.
It was at a rally. It was a rally.
That's what it was.
I saw that.
My heart just crushed for her.
People screamed, and she screamed, and it was on live television.
And it was these tiny white chairs, stinking chairs. Who created those chairs in the beginning?
I get triggered when I think about those chairs, and to worry and to sit very carefully on them, because is this the time that it's going to go down?
Right.
Is this the time that chair is going to go out? How long has that chair been here?
About to go down. Right.
We've been there. We have been there. We feel the pain, and now we're here.
Yes.
Now we're here because we did the thing that we're going to teach you how not to do today. Yes. So we're going to talk about how to quit your diet.
Yes.
So you don't like to stay on plan, right? It's a pain in the butt to stay on plan. It's a pain in the butt to do what your coaches say every week. It's a pain in the butt to have to eat a certain way. So I'm just going to quit. That's we're going to talk about how to do that. How to quit your diet and not succeed. Yeah. I'm sorry if we're tough today. We love you so much to tell you the truth. You
You
don't
do.
have to stay where you are, but there's a reason why you're not succeeding. There's a reason why you are losing the same 5 pounds over and over again. But the problem when you lose the same 5 pounds over and over again is when you lose that 5 pounds, that 5 pounds brings another 20 friends with him when he comes back because you do this. How to quit your diet. There is this thing, and we're going to teach you this thing, and our clients know well about the red dog. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
1 out of 3 of you listening to us today are food addicts, carbohydrate addicts, sugar addicts, ultra processed food addicts. Okay. 1 out of 3 of you. You are addicted to food. You're addicted to carbs. You're addicted to sugar. Okay. There is something in you, and even non-food addicts have the red dog. Everybody has a red dog in their life. So we want to paint a picture of the red dog. Do you want to do that, Darce? Do you want to paint the picture and like create a character of, and this was an assignment we gave to our weight loss group on Monday night. I want you to make me visualize. Is that a word? Visualize.
Just visualize.
I want you to introduce me to your red dog and what he looks like, what he smells like, everything about him, because I want to be able to picture him in my mind. Okay. And then as she's doing hers, I want you to also be picturing who your red dog is, because it's red dog that's going to allow you and give you permission to quit your diet. Okay.
Yeah.
Tell us who yours is.
Now, keep in mind, this isn't my season. Your season's red dog might look a lot different.
I'll tell you who mine is after yours.
I was going to say, wait a minute.
Yeah. No.
So like like my beginning phase that I was in, it sounded a lot different than my modern day red dog. But my modern day red dog dresses so nice. And so nice. And
he dresses nice.
Yeah. And it kind of hovers over me.
Okay.
Watches everything I do. Very judgmental.
Oh.
Very judgmental.
Okay.
Because and degrading. He's very negative. He just walks around because he knows more than me, apparently.
Oh.
And the fact that I know just as much as him, but he remembers it and knows it and puts it to action. That he's just like that, the perfection of what I'm trying to aim towards, but is just living this in daily times, just proving to me, like, and it's like he wants to prove me wrong. Like he knows as much as me, but he wants to prove me wrong.
I'm picturing him is he wearing a suit, like a business suit?
Like what I'm wearing today.
Yeah.
He likes to copy me because he thinks that his style is better than mine.
He's imposter. Yeah.
He's an imposter. But it's very matchy, but wants to prove me wrong in everything that I'm learning. And everything that I'm trying to be as a person. So he just follows around, just very like, oh, well, you poor thing. You. Yeah, very shameful. And that's in my season because, for me, I'm trying to do a lot of things to my inner metabolic health right now and hardcore. And I've got between doctors and outsiders and people that are other health gurus out there that are just trying to prove me otherwise. Well, that doesn't sound like a really smart thing to do, or that's a really stupid thing to do. Or people that have watched me through the 5 years that I've transformed still have disbelief or don't want to believe or just say that's stupid or, oh, well, your way is not really what I'm going to do.
So is that what Red Dog's telling you? You're stupid?
Yeah.
And what you're doing is hurting yourself?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, pretty much. So he just follows closely to me. And the other thing is he gets involved in my family and tells me like, where it is involved in like how I am raising my boys.
He's trying to co-parent with you.
Oh, yeah. And tells me, like, you're not doing that good enough. Look at all these other great parents out here, and their kids are fantastic. And look at yours, even though I think mine are fantastic, by the way.
Oh, they are. They're my favorite.
But certain days when there's, like, a full moon, they're not necessarily my favorite to be around. But, that is another thing of, like, the red dog's trying to tell me that I am not practicing what I'm preaching, even though I'm doing it in small steps. I'm not doing it enough. I'm not doing good enough.
Not enough.
So
Yeah.
there's just so much that he likes to just
Yours
be.
yours is pretty uppity.
He's very snobby.
Very, very uppity, kind of giving you a lot of imposter syndrome.
Oh, absolutely.
And what would happen with our clients on that? And you and I don't have a choice.
Right.
Because this is what we do for a living. This is what keeps the lights on for us, right? We don't have a choice, and we are constantly faced. But a lot of what would happen with our clients would be, oh, you're right. You're right. I'm that, and we heard it this week. My doctor said I can't eat whole foods. My doctor said that I need to go on a statin. My doctor said, and then they quit.
Yeah.
So your Red Dog is very successful in helping you quit your diet. And what will happen? Well, we know what will happen because we have documents upon documents of clients whose doctor, I'm air quoting here for our podcast listeners, whose doctors have said, oh, it's not healthy to eat that way. And what happens? We literally watch their pictures. They get bigger and they get bigger and they get bigger. And then they go on statins. And then they're in this pile of hopelessness after the quote doctor said, this is not healthy for you.
Can I extend that and through the statin, because I was the one that was the doctor said even your LDL level, because I had him do a panel that probably a very low percentage of people get done, because the lady that drew my blood said, I've never done this blood panel before. And it's just getting the, I'm probably going to butcher the name, the apiolipids or
A and B is what I call them.
Yes. But
lipids A and B.
The lipids A and B, the small, dense, and the large, buoyant ones. Those, and I wanted to prove to the doctor so badly that my A was like the most and just thriving, and my B was so low. And didn't have to worry. But mine was over, my B was over by 2. And that just discouraged me. That was like, look, this doctor's still, he's like, even though your this is that, but your B is still fairly on the high side by 0.2. Let's just be correct here, by 0.2. Exactly. And their certain range that they have set up.
Yeah.
That discouraged me.
You don't even know what it was before. So you don't have a baseline to know that, well, actually the way I'm living now is actually improving that. So
yeah. But here's the other thing is I could have let that discourage me. But what I do know that he doesn't really realize is that I have had a heck of a time with my body, with inflammation, with medication that I took for my back.
Right.
All these things that made my levels just shoot up because of those, like the Advil that I took, and the inflammation that my body was taking on. Like all of these things were starting to happen. So that was like, I could immediately, if I didn't go back and do that, I could immediately be discouraged and just defeated and saying, well, my doctor was right.
Yeah.
I'm not going to tell you that you're right either, because you're not right.
Oh, no, they will never.
No,
it is completely, we have more clients who are more afraid of their doctors than they are their own body and their own research and their own data, knowing that doctors have 1 hour of nutrition training. So that is a huge red dog for a lot of people. And that little goody two shoes, I'm better than you red dog voice is real. It knocks a lot of our clients off of their game. Mine is a little bit different in the fact that he probably is I bet he's wearing red shoes. I bet he is. I bet he has lipstick on.
You copycatter.
I think he might. I think he's very well dressed. But what he tells me every single day is, you just think you feel good. You just wait, because the minute you change anything, the minute you eat this or the minute you do anything wrong, you're going to gain 10 pounds right now. And the minute that that studies change, or the minute you have that apple, or the minute you do this, you're going to gain all of that weight back. And I'm not even afraid of gaining the 130 pounds back at this point in my life. I'm afraid of gaining that 20 pounds back that I gained, 2 years ago.
Yeah.
And that terrifies me. And so he's constantly in my ear saying, well, you're not good enough. You're not a good enough coach, because if you were a good enough coach, you wouldn't have gained that 20 pounds. If you were a good enough coach, you would have had the solution for yourself as to how to keep that 20 pounds off. You are a horrible coach. And this is my red dog. He lives with me every day.
Mhm.
Now, normally what we would have done, our old selves, and if we weren't employed as coaches, probably that red dog would knock us off on our keister, and we probably wouldn't be doing what we're doing today. But it's how you quit your diet,
Mhm.
because every time, and if you are listening to us and we see who all is on here, we see how many people are watching. I want to know what your red dog tells you, because you could absolutely quit with what your red dog is telling you. That is your escape plan. That is the plan. And that's what everybody uses. Everybody who goes off track, they're listening to their red dog. Red dog has won. Monica, you were very, very bold here in putting your putting your story out there. I don't know if you see that, Darce. Red dog. Red dog is the answer right there. You listen to him, right? You
Yeah.
listen to him saying, you know what? My family's eating this way, so why can't I? Red dog won, right? And you can guarantee you we love and accept you the way you are, but we're also going to speak truth and say, red dog won. Red dog helped you quit your diet, right?
Yeah.
A lot of people are afraid of the word diet. A lot of
Mhm.
people are really, really, they're afraid of that word. And somebody posted on my Facebook page about how the world is afraid of the word diet. The word diet saved my life. The word diet is not a bad word. Now, if you're into all these little super products, there's
Yeah.
no drop, there's no drip. I saw something this week that came out that there's now a skinny drip.
What?
I don't even know. There is no pill. There is no potion. There is no ketone. There is no GLP-1. There is no diet magical pill. There's none. It all is about what you put in your body. It's the nutrition, it's the food upside down pyramid that we're facing now.
Yeah.
There's nothing that you can do to take that is the magic pill. That's what the diet words are that people hate. The word diet saved my life because I changed my diet for good. I looked at the foods that were presented in front of me, at family gatherings, and I saw them as poison. I saw what they do to my body and the chains that they keep around my ankles, and I said, I don't want that anymore. I want whole foods. I
Mhm.
want to eat healthy. So the word diet saved my life, and it was diet, but it's a lifestyle that I've continued to live, and you've continued to live.
Yes.
So Red Dog knocks you on your butt. Red Dog helps you gain the weight back. Red Dog helps you quit your diet, right? So I want to know what your Red Dog looks like. What is your Red Dog telling you? What is it telling you? And then we're going to talk about what happens when that beautiful, I mean, yours is very nicely dressed,
It
Darcy.
is.
We're going to talk about what we do to shut him up, because the antithesis of this, I think that's the word I want, is how do you shut him up? If it's a Red Dog who's knocking me on my butt and making me regain the same 5 stinking pounds and losing the 5 stinking pounds again, if it's Red Dog who is barking and keeping me in this bondage, what do I do to shut him up? So we're going to talk about that in the next segment here is how do you shut up the Red Dog?
Mhm.
Understanding he's the number one reason. What was that when we talked about in group? Who was it that I think it was Gary that brought up the most beautiful
Yeah.
the beautiful thing? Do you remember what he said?
Yes.
What did
Which
he
one?
the first one?
The first one?
The first one.
Well, this we were talking about when we acknowledge the lie,
Mm-hmm.
right? So we have to first acknowledge it, and then that lie would have been, this time will be different.
This time will be different.
Yeah.
Yeah. That one hit me
Yeah.
between the eyes.
And it's so true. Like I've seen this happen
Yeah.
over and over and over, where somebody loses the weight,
Uh-huh.
and then they get FOMO, the fear of missing out.
Yep.
And then they decide, oh, well, this time's different because I know more. I understand more.
Mm-hmm.
But then they aren't remembering all the triggers that happen and the binge that will happen afterwards. And then they're back in the same if not gained more weight than what they had lost.
Mhm.
They are
Yeah.
back into that same cycle yet again,
Yeah.
in that same lie, because they gave in to the fear of missing out,
Yeah.
because they said this time will be different.
This time will be different. Yeah. I had somebody mention that to me this week as, I feel amazing. I feel, and this usually happens when, and typically it's, no, I wouldn't say typically it's women, but you're feeling sexy. Men feel sexy too. They're feeling good. They're feeling powerful. They're feeling amazing. And then they say, well, will I always have to eat this way? Will I be able to just go to a family function and eat normally? Will I ever be able to go back to the way I used to? The answer to that is no, you won't. If you want to stay this way.
Right.
If you don't care about going back and gaining the weight back, then yeah, go back and participate. Go back and eat the way you used to eat before, because this time won't be different.
Right.
How would it? It's been a cycle our entire lives. So your job in this lifestyle is to get to know it. Now, there's things I've had to grieve. There's things I've had to grieve.
Oh yeah.
Monica will never be able to have a donut again. But you know what? I'm okay with that, because this side of my life, I'm living. The other side, I was dying.
Mm-hmm.
With the donut, I was dying. I was physically dying.
You shortened your lifespan.
Yeah. This side of my life, I can go, I can do what I want to do. I can be the grandma I want to be. I can kind of make up for the parenting that I wasn't,
Mm-hmm.
right? But the problem is people fall prey to guilt. They fall prey to their family members. The number one red dog is your own stinking family.
Yeah.
My own son did this to me, and I've told this story before. The one who saved my life also was the one who said, "Mom, aren't you ever going to, drink this again? Aren't you ever going to?" It was like, "You're not fun now." I am more fun now than I was when I couldn't walk up the stinking slide on the playground with him.
Yeah.
But the one who saved me was also the one who tried to get me to go back to my old lifestyle. And so you got to be aware. The number one red dog, I think, besides the imposter, besides the guilt and the shame, the red dog that's named shame, that's powerful.
Mm-hmm.
But I think one of the most powerful red dogs is our own family and friends.
Unfortunately.
People weirdly care what's on your plate. It is just weird. I've never seen anything like it. Why do people care what I have on my plate? It is beyond weird to me.
I don't get it.
But I think that's the number one red dog that's out there, right up close to the shame one. And so what do we do? How do we shut those? Those are live people, right? Sometimes a red dog just talks in our head.
Yeah.
You're stupid. I can't believe you ate that. Just one bite won't hurt. Those
That's
kinds
the
of
biggest
things.
one.
Yeah, just one bite. BLT, as we call them, bites, licks, and tastes. The dishonest ones. Here's a big red dog. Dishonesty. There are so many people who come to us when we do our intake and say, "Well, I don't eat that much. I really don't eat that much." And I freak out because I hate doing the reverse diet for clients. I hate my metabolic build program because I know how people look at the weight loss drugs and they want to lose the weight fast, and they come to me and their metabolism is crashed, and we have to do a reverse diet for 4 months before we can fix them. I hate the reverse diet. So I always panic when I have a client who says, "Well, I don't eat that much. I don't understand why, I'm fat. I don't understand why I'm overweight." And I'm like, "Oh crap. We got to do a reverse diet." Well, when we have them tracking their food, the bites, licks, and tastes are over 700 calories. You eat more than you think you do, right?
Yeah. Your stomach may not just tell you that it wasn't, like you're judging based on how your stomach feels,
right?
On how much you've eaten.
Yeah.
Most of the time,
when we're honest. And so that's another red dog.
Yeah.
You're not eating that much. So, another tablespoon of peanut butter is not going to hurt you. Well, that's, 150 calories right there, 1 tablespoon. And I don't know anyone who has ever leveled off a tablespoon of peanut butter.
Right.
Never seen that.
It's not very much, y'all.
No. But the family and friends, let's talk about the family and friends red dog, because that is really, and our family and friends, bless their cotton picking hearts. They want the best for us until they don't.
Right.
Until you're actually doing something. Most family and friends will just hang out and wait for you to fall because they know they've seen your diet history in the past. They know, give them 2 weeks. 2 weeks is pretty much the top that I can keep a client on track if they're not in. And Fred Dog is talking, right?
I think for in our story in particular, I really, and I may have told this on the podcast before, but like just when you were losing the weight and I was trying to, and I knew that I needed to because I hit 30, clotheslined me. So then I went to the MLM stuff, and then you were too, and it was like competing against MLM companies, but then realized that it wasn't the MLM company. It was actually what you were doing, and you surpassed me in my weight. And I don't know if you remember this at all, but like I was around you in high school, and you know, that's how I knew you the most after Tony was born, and you gained most of your weight. But that's who I knew you as. Like I always knew you like that, and I didn't know any different. So when you became smaller than me, and I was not in the realization that, holy cow, like this has never happened. Now I'm like the bigger one of both of us. Like there's jealousy just started to fill my body, envy,
That's real.
all the negative things as a family member. And I was not nice about it. Well, I was nice to her face, but I was also two-faced. Then I went to my other sister because I got one of those, my other sister, and I complained about how happy she was. How stupid is that? I complained about how happy she was.
It is so true.
That, this is all she thinks about. It's all about herself, blah, 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 and her own journey. And I thought of every single negative thing. And let me tell you, people, you have that person in your life.
You do.
And if you lose that friendship, that's probably why you've lost that friendship, because they cannot handle your happiness. They cannot handle your joy. And they still want to be stuck in their own red dog moments.
But to me, I was so oblivious. I didn't know you hated me. I was so oblivious. Well, I know. I didn't know you were jealous. I didn't sense any of that. You hid it well.
I did. I'm really good.
And so
to be proud of it.
Well, yeah, you hid it well. And some of our clients don't have people who hide it well.
Right.
And so thankfully you hid yours well, but most people don't have that. Or maybe I'm just oblivious to life. I mean, that's the theme of my life.
You were flying high. Let me just tell you.
Yeah. Yeah, I was pretty much oblivious to that because I had a goal, but a lot of people really take stake in the fact of what their relatives think.
Yeah.
And they really get hung up on what people think about them. And so if you have friends who are not hiding it well, or if you are extra sensitive to people and extra, you're just extra feels, the feels are stronger. I think my feels were muted a little bit. And I think that's probably why I make a good coach, because I can say the hard things. So you tend to be the opposite. You tend to be more feely, which is good. I don't know which side of the coin is good for the coaching. We need to tear that apart a little bit.
I should coach you and see how I coach.
We should ask our clients, which do you prefer? What kind of thing do you prefer? Because actually it's a perfect balance. It's a beautiful balance.
It is a balance.
It is, because they're sensitive souls, and I had to say some pretty tough things.
Yeah. I do think that with our coaching, we read how the client is actually feeling. And if you know that statement that you're about to make is going to absolutely crush them in that moment.
Yes.
You've got to be able to read the room.
You have to.
And
we do it well. We really do it well.
We definitely coach differently.
Yeah.
But we read the room well. And
that is one of the things I look for when I have a coach that coaches for me is, I need to know how you read the room, because we can't have a soul crusher and we can't have somebody who's an intuitive either.
I'll let things slide like maybe once or twice, because I understand that we all have flops. We all have those moments that we need to have in order to move forward. But if you continually, then I'm putting on my hardcore coach's hat right now. And I'm going to tell you the honest truth of what I'm seeing
Yeah.
happening.
And
You're
we're
not.
getting to the point in our practice that we are able to let clients go, because I don't want to take money from somebody who's not doing
No.
anything.
If
And
they're
so
not ready, they're not ready.
yeah, we're getting to the point where we're like, you know what? I don't think our coaching relationship is working out because it seems like you're not doing the things, right?
Yeah.
And so I'm excited to get to that point. You know, but
That,
yeah,
but that is when clients are not willing to let the red
no,
dog go.
no,
They're letting it bark so loud in their ear,
yeah,
and they're not willing.
yeah,
Then if you're not willing to let that red dog go, then you're
yeah,
absolutely not ready for our coaching services yet.
right. Yeah. And we'll take you back when you are, you
Yeah.
know, because it's recession is a little bit strong out there right now. I don't want to take your
What?
money.
What?
It is $94
It's
for
fine. Everything's
groceries.
fine. Everything's
Everything's
fine.
fine.
We're all rich.
Beautiful. Beautiful. Yes. But that is true. We can't have a red dog and a coach in the same room. Doesn't work. You know, it doesn't work because you're going to end up taking the path of least resistance, which is what red dog wants you to
Yeah.
take. So yeah, it's tough. And we do sincerely, when we go into a coaching session, we you know, I pray for the clients before. I'm like, you know what, God, help me remember what it felt like to be in this specific situation. And we have got to go into a room ready to go either way. And there's some times where I will expect, after reading the form that they give us, the pre-coaching form, I'll read that, and my head will be going in one direction. I'm like, all right, pulling the gloves out. It was a tough week. And then I get into the room and sense, oh, life just fell apart for this person. We need grace here. So grace and truth. Jesus was full of grace and truth, and that's how we do it. But let's talk about the red dog, because it does have to be dealt with. The red dog is the reason you quit your diet. 100% of the time. There's not a time that you've quit your diet that the red dog hasn't told you and talked you out of it. Whether it be a doctor, whether it be a family member, whether it be jealousy, whether it be your own wanting your own excuse.
Yeah.
It's always the red dog that makes you quit. It's the red dog that makes you fall off the wagon. It's the red dog that makes you quit. It's a red dog that brings on the 40 extra pounds that he's bringing with his friends.
The red dog tends to be, I think we talked about this a little bit in group, where the red dog tends to say truths, but really that truth is more of keeping you in that comfort zone of where you are and not willing to grow beyond that. So the red dog wants to keep you all nestled and feel comfortable where you are.
Yeah.
You know, that's the other one.
Yeah. He's like a chameleon. And you think you understand what your red dog is. Like I had Darcy explain what her red dog is. However, tomorrow he could change clothes. He could come in a flannel tomorrow and say, you know what? It is fall. You deserve to have this candy apple.
He could be that's the worship leader gear.
Yeah. He could provide you a bonfire, you know, nice, cozy fall. He could have a different outfit on tomorrow. So what you have to do is you've got to have your passion to be healthy so in check. You got to know your why so badly that you do what I did. In fact, you know, maybe this is the answer to the question of why I didn't know why you were jealous. Because my why was so strong. I was so hurt the day that my son said, "Can we go to Cedar Point?" And I said, "I am too fat to get on the ride. He will kick me off the ride." And I was so crushed. I was so humiliated, so embarrassed by that thought that's what kept me going all of those years. I had no idea you were jealous.
Right.
Because my eyes were on that situation at my dining room table. Toast crumbs on the table and all, and I was humiliated.
Yeah.
And that was my why. Your enough moment will shut that red dog up.
Yeah. And in the case of the person who is jealous, let's look at that perspective. When you are the jealous one and you are frustrated with watching somebody else's journey happen, giving them grace because they're going through something pretty big.
Yes.
You know, going through a whole lifestyle change is not easy because of the things that we're talking about. We're talking about the people that are the naysayers, the
Yeah.
world that is a naysayer, the yourself that is a naysayer, all of those things that you're battling in your head
Mm-hmm.
is causing you to, you know, be it's causing the person to be the way they are.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. They're hurt. What does it say? That hurt people hurt people.
Yeah,
Hurting people
absolutely.
hurt people.
So the jealous person, let me
Mm-hmm.
just talk to you out there. If you are in a situation where you are so over somebody else's journey because you want it so badly, even though you're probably not in the place to say that you're jealous. If you are talking about somebody's lifestyle and how they're going to kill themselves or because of the lifestyle, not because they're going to
Mm-hmm.
do that. But all of those things, like you need to open your eyes and see what you're doing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And you need to take a moment and say, am I being this negative? Am I
Mm-hmm.
being supportive to this person? Am I just wanting what they have? If that's
Right.
the case, maybe it's time for you to ask them, hey, what are you doing? I'm
Yeah.
ready to do what you're doing because you seem so joyful and I
Right.
want that.
And typically that happens if they can avoid quitting. So a lot of people will get to a certain point in their lifestyle and they will let those people speak into them. And they know, the family members are waiting for them to fail. And some of the times the clients do that. They just go along with the family. They end up, off track. They end up regaining the weight back. And they it's a self-fulfilled prophecy, family
Mhm.
waiting for them to fail. Oh, family is waiting for me to fail. Okay, I'm going to fail. But then we have some break through that who are like, no, my life is worth more. My health is worth more than anything anybody can say.
Yeah.
And they break through that judgment zone and they break through that, oh, maybe she is going to succeed this time. And then it becomes normal. Then your family starts asking you, what can you eat? Because they want you to participate in the family things. They just wanted you to fail first, right? Or
Right.
they expected you to. They didn't,
Yes.
maybe they
They
didn't want
were
you to.
they were
They
waiting they were waiting for that phrase that I've heard so
uh-huh.
many times. Oh, look how large she got again.
Yes. Yes.
That phrase. Don't you deny or come at me with negative comments because
Yeah.
if you were one that said that or
Yeah.
you've heard that, you know that people say that.
Oh, yeah. Happens every family reunion
Every
for sure.
single time.
Every church outing. Absolutely. Yeah. So let's say you break through that negative judgment zone that your family is waiting for you just to come back and drink with them again. They realize, oh, she's serious this time. And oh my gosh. And this is about the 20, 30 pound mark
Yeah.
where they start to notice. Okay.
Yeah.
They're like, oh, well, how can we help you? Then they start to turn. They're like, okay, well, we understand you're not going to cheat. So what can we provide you? How can we help you? Is there anything that we can, bring? Oh, you're bringing your own. Okay. And then after that point, you've lost about 40 pounds, 40, 50 pounds. And they're like, surrender. What are you doing? Who's
Yeah.
your coach? What are you doing? But you got to break through that 40-pound mark, 40, 50. Yeah. So,
Yeah.
what are you going to do to shut the red dog up this time? You shut him up, you're going to succeed. It's the red dog that makes you quit every single time.
Yeah.
What are you going to do this time to shut him up? Now he still speaks. I still hear him. He's telling me, he was telling me today, oh, Monica, if you go work out, this is a weird thing he's saying to me now. It's really weird because I hit a number on the scale that I really like. And
I know what you're going to say.
tell me what you heard him say to me this morning.
If you go and work out, you're going to gain weight. You're going
That's what he
to,
said. It's exactly what he said to me this morning. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's exactly what he told me this morning.
I know it.
If you get muscle, if you get muscle, that number on the scale is going to go up.
Sounds like he needs to get a little bit more creative. Let's be honest.
But you know what? It works. Now it didn't work. I went to the gym this morning. I'm like, shut up. Shut up. That's the number one thing I tell them. Just shut up.
The other thing, and I hear this a lot from our clients, and they talk about how the scale went up and blah, blah, blah. I'm like, okay, we need to do a checklist here.
Mhm.
And this is how you're going to shut the red dog up, by answering this checklist. Then you're going to know, is it
Mhm.
because you're overeating? Is it
Mhm.
because you're doing, A, B, and C? Are you making sure that you are not eating keto crap or
Mhm.
carnivore crap?
Right.
What are you doing? You need to keep yourself accountable and
Mhm.
collect this data on yourself. If that means that you have to start tracking for a little bit,
Mhm.
if you're not doing that, then by golly, do it.
Absolutely.
And that is the way that you're going to shut that red dog up, because you're going to find out that, man, I haven't been sleeping very
Mhm.
well. I have been super stressed because I have these assignments, this for my job that I have to
Yeah.
get completed, and I haven't been sleeping well. Or
Yeah.
the kids have so many different moods right now, and I'm just overwhelmed. We're not thinking about what other things
Yeah.
cause your body to gain weight.
Right.
Also, women, if you are during your cycle, before
Mhm.
your cycle, you're gonna gain
Yeah.
the natural
Here's
weight.
something. Can I tell you something that my pastor taught me? I had a pastor
And
for 26 years. I loved that man. I loved him. He was my spiritual dad.
you still love him. You can't say
I still
loved.
love him. Yeah, I do still love him.
Okay.
He formed who I am today, and I'll be forever grateful, and I miss him like
There you go.
crazy.
There you go.
But he said 10% of what your naysayers tell you is true.
Mm.
And he always made me, because I have a lot of naysayers in my life. And the red dog is no different. And this is an interesting thing, because 10% of what the red dog says could be true. So let's say, for example, like you were just talking about, let's say, let's give an example of the one you said about your kids
Mhm.
is a really, really good one. 10%
Thanks.
of that, 10% of that is true. Yeah. Do we need to feed our kids better?
Mhm.
Yeah. Part of that is true. But do we need to shame ourselves over being a mom and feeling like you have to do everything right now and transform their life and make them look like they're in, another country? No. How do you do that? Okay, I'm listening. Okay, yeah, you're right. I want healthy kids, but I'm not going to shame myself as a mother. Um, and maybe I'm going to change one thing at a time.
Mhm.
Or another thing that you mentioned, sleep. Okay, yeah, Red Dog is really shaming me. I'm not sleeping. I had the funniest dream last night. So I'm taking this amazing thing, and it's an experiment. I'm taking nasal oxytocin because I'm just like, something wasn't working right with my testosterone. And we're trying this. We're on this experimental thing. So I did it last night. I put oxytocin in my nose last night. Do not ever do that, ever, because I was stuck all night last night. In my dreams, I was stuck at the Duggar house. 19 kids and counting. I was stuck there and I couldn't get out of their house.
Oh my goodness.
It was the most vivid dream that I have ever had in my life. Do not ever do that. So you mentioned sleep. Yeah, we need sleep.
Stop watching TLC.
Oh my gosh.
Just
I'm
put
stuck
that
on the
cancel.
whole Mormon eat, sleep, and stay sweet. I'm stuck in that line
Oh my
of that
goodness.
and the murders,
Oh
the
my
real life
goodness.
murders. I'm stuck.
Yes.
That's probably why I was dreaming. But yeah, Red Dog is like, well, you're not getting enough sleep. You're going to crush your entire,
Yes.
It's true. You need sleep. And I probably should not take oxytocin before I go to bed because I don't want to be stuck in her. I was working so hard. It is really hard to raise 19 kids. I was exhausted this morning. I
We
couldn't get
must have
up.
had a similar dream, because I was on
Oh,
the move too.
oh,
But I don't know where I was going.
yeah. Well, part of what the Red Dog says can be true, and part of
Um,
it can be convicting, and part
yeah.
of it, but you have to learn what parts to take as truth and what parts to say, you're just trying to get me to go to my old unhealthy self
And
again.
by doing that, that is where the data collecting is going to be very important for
Yes.
you, because then you
Yes.
can look at it outside of your brain.
Right.
Getting stuff outside of your brain. We talk about that a lot, because
Yes.
it's important to see what's on a piece of paper. I'm like, oh, that kind of sounds dumb. Like that
Mhm.
came out of my head. That's kind of dumb.
Right.
But you're
Right.
able to identify those things, which
Yeah.
helps you acknowledge
Mhm.
what the red dog's telling you.
Yeah. Is he telling me truth? Is he telling me some truth, or is this something I just need to say, "Hey, shut up, Red Dog"?
Yeah.
And be very careful, because if your red dogs are your families, be very careful to internalize the shut up, okay? Very carefully
Yeah.
internalize.
Yes.
Shut up.
Yes.
Because there's sometimes that you're going to have to say that. Shut up.
Well, the red dog, like you said, that 10%, that just kind of clicked for me. Like just knowing that the red dog could be moving you astray for something that you actually need. That makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
That's what you're saying. I'm just saying it out loud for myself.
Yeah.
Maybe for somebody
He's
else
brilliant.
out there. He's and you have to identify, like, is that something that I do need to change, is important?
Uh-huh.
Or is it something that is gonna get me outside of my comfort zone? Or I never thought until this moment. I never thought of the red dog telling you what you.
Thank you, Pastor Dave. Pastor Dave is the author of that one. 10% of what
so
people tell you is
now.
true. And he was talking about, when he would get a nasty letter from a congregant or something, he didn't ever toss it away. Some of them you got to toss. Some of them, there's a lot of haters out there.
Like, is this something that I could improve myself?
Yeah.
Or is this for their benefit? Or is this going to benefit myself?
Yeah. And in family relationships, when somebody tells you, hey, you need to do this, or you hurt me. Okay. 10%. And what I've learned to say is, okay, I hear you. I'm learning to say this instead of getting mad first. I'm learning to say, I hear you. So you could do that to your red dog and say, I hear you say this. First of all, it's not true. Second of all, okay, I'm going to work on my sleep. I'm going to fight you on this. So wisdom in learning how, but if you listen to your red dog, welcome to quitting your diet. You successfully did it. Congratulations. You did what we told you. You did what we set out to do in today's podcast, right?
Absolutely.
We're going to use this as a podcast today. So I like doing that. Sometimes it's really good to plan podcasts and go into the studio. Sometimes it's good to shoot from the hip, but that's really, really been on my plate because there's a lot of people who are re-dieting. There's a lot of people in our circle, in our clientele, who are re-dieting, losing 5 pounds, gaining 5 pounds, losing 5 pounds, gaining 7. Right?
We also discussed that, we are in the fall season, which is for us, birthdays, both boys' birthdays are in the beginning of our holiday season. And then Halloween happens, and Thanksgiving happens, and then Christmas happens, and then the other thing happens, and it's nonstop. And then that's when the traditions come in there. And then that red dog is going to speak to you in that way of, hey, listen, you're going to miss out on all these traditions that you do with your family. And it's sad to me that a lot of traditions are based around food. Let's have a different outlook. And I'm not gonna go into a soapbox moment here with my holiday season, but I thought it's probably pretty.
I could
important.
see you doing a Canva graphic on a red dog and FOMO. Red dog called FOMO.
I'd come up with that. But just knowing what you can do in the holiday season. Don't give up. Don't be like, oh, I'm going to be the worst person in the world if I decide not to bake the cookies this year and eat them with everyone. You can bake the cookies, but don't eat them. If you have that, if you have the power. If you don't, try something new. Make a new tradition with your family. Like, hey, I had this fantastic idea that we could make yearly ornaments for our tree. And make a special theme, things like that. Get creative. It does not have to revolve around food. And then if you can't get away from this food system, then ketoize it because you can ketoize any food.
Right. There's physical red dogs. And one of those that was brought to my attention this morning is the scale.
Yeah.
Well, the scale went up this week, so I'm going to quit.
Yeah.
He can actually be a physical thing. The scale or a measuring tape. So our passion, Darcy's passion, is to see women not have to go through what we did.
Yeah.
My passion is to help women out because they've already messed it up. They help them out and give them hope. Our passions do mix. They do mix. I promise you.
They do.
But stay out of our. We want you to find help. We want you to find hope. We want you to hold on to healing and to know that it's possible. But in order for that to happen, you've got to get rid of the red dog. You've got to. He's the number one reason why people get on the diet hamster wheel because they listen to him. Listen to, it's proven fact that people take the path of least resistance. You're going to automatically do that. And it's time to break the cycle. It's time to stop it and say, I want off of this nightmare and I want to be whole and healthy again. So that's our show today.
Yeah.
I hope you enjoyed it. I hope it wasn't too tough. We have a fine line. We have a fine line to walk. But I want women and men to be free so badly that I'm willing to say the hard things, willing to do the hard things. And you are too, Coach. You're nicer at it than I am, though. You're much nicer at it.
I don't know. I really don't know if I agree with that, but
oh gosh. Well, if you need help, if you're like, hey, these girls are speaking my language, you probably have named your red dog by the end of the show. You probably see him. I hope you're mad at him. I really hope you're mad at him because he is the one who has single-handedly destroyed your attempts to get healthy every single time. So I hope you're really darn mad. And maybe you'll be mad enough to say, you know what, can't do it on my own again. I need somebody to help me fight this red dog off. We'll call it as it is. Our most successful program that we have is our signature program, which is 3 months. Because if we can have you for 3 months, we get you pointed in the right direction. We get you past that honeymoon phase of, diet. Everybody has a honeymoon phase, and it usually lasts about 6 to 8 weeks, where you're like, oh my gosh, I'm feeling good. I will never go back. I will never cheat. I will never do anything. And then the family reunion hits. Then Thanksgiving hits. And then you go through the pit. Maybe you go through a divorce. Maybe your kids leave the nest. Something crisis happens and you're like, wow, what do I do? If we have you for 3 months, we typically get you through one of those. Our favorite ones are the year clients that we have because then we get to do the reverse diet. We get to walk through some food addiction stuff. We get to walk through some really dark times together. But those are the 3-month one is probably our signature package. Hopefully tonight, hopefully we will have room on our schedules. I would suggest just knowing the class that we're teaching tonight, we are offering our carnivore clients, we are offering them an inside deal as to how to get on our calendars because they've done amazing. They have lost, oh gosh, we're getting ready to do the adding up. But last week, they had lost over 175 pounds.
Yeah.
And so yes, we do have that price, Monica. We have a complete menu now of all of those prices. So feel free to ask us for that. But we are giving them an inside track into the 3-month program. And when we do that tonight, I think we're going to be pretty busy for the next 3 months. So if that is you who is like, I just need that, make sure you message us. I would say before 6:00 tonight. If you're listening to this on podcast, I'm hoping that we have room for you. Just message us, get on our free call schedule so that we can talk you through which package you need. The ones who need the longer packages are the ones who quit diets.
Mm-hmm.
Frankly, because we do now. There's a lot of extra perks for the 12-month, including a reverse diet, including, there's a lot of different perks for that. However, the main reason why people get that is because they want the financial accountability. They want to say, hey, I paid for it. I better stick to it. No, that's why they're so successful.
Yes.
KMHealthCoaching.org is where you find us. You can find Coach Darcy on there. You can find her calendar. You can find my calendar on there. You can also find the Food Addiction Treatment Center on that page, as well as the women's only and the men's only page. So check that out, KMHealthCoaching.org. And for those of you who are watching us live, it is time for you to go vote. If you're in America, it is time for you to go vote. Go to the vote. Go to your polls early. Go vote. Get it out of the way. Nothing says that you're going to be, available on election day. So we encourage you to go vote early. If you're watching this, if you're listening to us on podcast, I hope it all turned out.
Oh, the unknown.
Oh my gosh. 15 days, y'all. My poor people who follow me on social media that will follow me for health. They're like, please, Jesus, come back soon because it's the Wild West over there. And I'm not even sorry about it. I'm not sorry about it at all. Everything will be fine in 15 days.
I'm on soapboxes about cholesterol. So that's where my world is.
We love you guys. You are truly loved.
Yes.
You're truly cared for. And we want you to know that there's hope. We want you to know that the things that you're facing now are just momentary things that you got to get through. Let's shut that red dog up together and let's get healthy. Yes. We'll see you next week, guys.
Bye.
Coach Monica here. Guess what? If you're fed up with feeling stuck in your battle with weight or food, I've got something just for you. Check out our free Facebook groups. Over at Food Addiction and Recovery, I'm over there waiting for you. We're going to walk this journey together. It's about getting real, sharing our stories, and lifting each other up. We're in this together every step of the way. And if you're curious about changing your life with keto, the Weight Loss Project is where you want to be. Coach Darcy is amazing. And together, we're not just talking about losing weight. We're talking about finding a happier, healthier you. So, what do you say? Are you ready to join us? The links are in the show notes below, and I'm telling you, this is more than an invite. It is the start